it is lonely being a business owner. If you have a strong why behind the business, the bad days that suck, and they're awful, your why is what will keep you going.
All right. Hello and welcome to Your Brand, Your Business, the show where we dive into stories and strategies behind building a successful and profitable brand. I'm Marie, your host of this podcast, and I'm also entrepreneur and brand strategist. Today, I am really excited to introduce you our guest, Louis Watkins, who will be sharing his expertise on how self-care and branding can change the game. Louis, thank you so much for joining us. Can you please tell us more about yourself, who you are, and what is it that you actually do?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. So my name is Louis. I'm the founder of a brand called Clear for Men. We are breaking stigmas and sparking conversations one bottle at a time. And I started a mental health awareness skincare brand to be a daily reminder for men to take five every single day through the act of self-care. It's something that doesn't get spoken about enough, and I want to be able to help incorporate that daily reminder for men to pause and prioritize themselves and pour into their own cup, because it's something that I neglected a lot when I was younger, and I feel like conversations aren't spoken about enough with self care and mental health, and that's sort of where Clear for Men started back in 2021.
Nice. I'm always really interested about what was actually the impulse to start because usually people wait for decades, for years to start their entrepreneur journey. So, what was the impulse to start the Clear for Men? The moment you said, "Yes, this is it. This is what I want to do."
So it all sort of started back in 2020. So in 2020, I was struggling a lot with my mental health. I was very burnt out. It was the first time that I had really experienced any form of anxiety. So I was very much like the physical forms of anxiety were taking over, and I just find it very difficult to talk about. I remember speaking to a few of my friends, and it was almost as if we didn't really know how to speak to each other about it because we'd never done it before. And I just thought this is really weird. Like, I should be able to come to my friends and talk about this, but we just don't feel comfortable enough to do it. And I thought we need to do more about this. And a lot of things grounded me during that period, because I think everyone was going through such a difficult time in that time. Um, but like, this was like all completely brand new for me. So I was just like, I don't know how to channel this anxiety that I'm getting. I remember before I had this feeling where I had like a tight chest pain, and I had like this like tingling sensation through my arm, and I actually thought like I am having a heart attack. But then I realized it wasn't that. I think I was having a panic attack. And it just came out of nowhere, and I found it really hard to talk about these things. And the more and more I bottled it up, the more and more I just sort of felt worse. And the only way for me to feel better, I knew, was by talking about it. So a lot of things really helped me during that period. One of them was actually like self care was definitely something that was huge for me, and that's sort of the fundamental of Clear for Men. But things like running, going for walks, really looking after myself. Me and my brother used to cook a lot during that time as well. But self care really grounded me, because that was time that like no one could take away from me. So in my head I thought, this time for myself, and I'm putting time aside for my routine every single day. I love how this is making me feel both, I'm feeling more confident in myself. I feel better in myself mentally as well, because I feel as though I'm putting time aside to pour into my own cup. And that's sort of where the idea for Clear for Men came from. So I thought, what, like, self care, there's just a stigma attached to it with men. There's such a stigma attached to mental health in men. Why don't we combine the two and give men that reminder to take five? And that's sort of where Clear for Men, the idea came from. And then I kept toying at the idea for around about was it 2 or 3 weeks, I think it was, in 2020. And I was like, oh, I really want to, I don't know where to do it. And then New Year's Eve, I was like, you know what? I am going to set a New Year's resolution, and I'm going to start this in the new year. And then I bought a course. I bought a founder course in that, literally, I think it was like two or 3 days after New Year's Eve. Um, and it was a course on how to build a brand, like from like nothing. And I think I spent like £1,000 on this course, and I was like, I need to learn how to build, because I don't know what to do. And that's sort of where Clear for Men started, really. And I just sort of learned about building a brand, community, trademarks. yeah, it all sort of started back then. So it's been a wild one, really. It's been like 4 years.
Nice. I really like how COVID-19 was transformational. I think not only for you, but for many people who are also listening to us today. It was actually
Yes.
also transformational for me, especially in the vision, because in Marie Olivier, it was mainly that I ended up jobless. During
Yeah.
COVID 19, and it was a really hard time for me. I was recently graduate. I was really motivated to get a job, and I actually didn't know like what will happen, how should I actually find a job during COVID, and it was really uncertain times, which made me actually think during the anxious time, what can I do? And I then discovered that I don't want that anyone would feel like I did during the COVID-19, and this is why I started with Marie Olivier to actually show people that they can start their brand from nothing. Exactly what you
Yeah.
said, the similar course
Yeah.
as you did during the COVID before you start Clear for Men. And it's really important to sometimes use the struggles as your opportunity, as a signal that you can embrace it into something maybe even better. You
Mm.
said that you felt good with like self care and these things. Do you feel that sometimes self care is underestimated for men? Because we speak a lot about self care for women, how women like should embrace their femininity and things like this. How do you feel about this balance and dynamic of feminine and masculine for men, for women, the self care?
That's a very good question. So I actually had so a few about just under a year ago, I think it was. I had a woman reach out to me, and she was doing a dissertation for uni, and she said to me, I'd love to talk to you about self care with men and the stigma attached to it. And I thought, yeah, okay, let's do it. And she was telling me how her brother had told her that he would never go to his friends to talk about self care. He would never go to his friends to talk about what I should use on my face or how I should like just like self care tips in general. He would only go to his sister because he just thought, oh, that's just like the thing to do. And it had me thinking, like, there is such a stigma attached to this. Like men don't really talk about the importance of looking after ourselves. And I know even today, like I think I always say that self care is not a luxury, like it's a necessity. So like today, I was feeling a little bit burnt out this morning and just feeling a little bit like, oh my goodness, I got so much on my plate. Like, what am I doing? And then I spent a few hours. I went for a run. I came back. I had a shower. I did my skincare. I did my hair care, and I sat back down and I just thought, wow, I feel 10 times better now because I've taken myself out of the situation that was stressing me out, and I've put myself first, and I felt 10 times better for it. And I think sometimes I think it's massively underestimated because, like you said, I think self care is spoken a lot about being feminine, whereas I think self care is everyone. I think everyone deserves to take five, and I think like we could sometimes I think that's where the stigma lies in self care because I think sometimes people think, oh yeah, I don't do skincare, I don't do self care because that's not what I do. It's fine. Whereas actually, like it's so much more than just like washing our face. Like it's actually just putting time aside for ourselves, which I think is like the most important thing that we need to do more of. So I would say it's like it is fundamentally one of the most important things I do for myself, especially with a very busy schedule. I think it's massively underrated. I think it definitely needs to happen more.
Yeah, I also agree. And what advice would you give to men who are, for example, who don't know where to start actually with self care because there is not a lot, probably instruction. I'm not men because I'm probably like targeted, but by all of this advertisement for the dry hair and things like this. So I don't really see like how the social media platforms, for example, target men in self care. So
Yeah,
how would you advise what would you advise to men who would like to start with self-care actually?
that's a really good question. So I recently looked at my analytics a few months ago, and I saw that a lot of women buy for the men in their life because of the same exact reason. So a lot of men don't really know they don't really know where to start. A lot of people ask me like, do you use the cleanser for like what step do you use the cleanser in? And I think what's really nice about what I do is the fact that I feel as though I've built a community now where people feel comfortable to ask me on a live stream or ask me on my videos, oh, when should I use this product? Like what time of day or how much should I use? It's those small questions that I think sometimes people feel embarrassed to ask. They shouldn't feel embarrassed, but I feel like they're like worried about what other people may think because like I said, like it's just not it's something that's not really spoken about a lot. So I think the first thing I would say is it's never, a quick search on like social media, so on TikTok, on Instagram, anywhere really, just like self-care videos or like how to wash your face. Like if you go on TikTok and you just search that, like there are so many male grooming videos that will sort of show the foundations, and I post a lot of them as well, like how to wash your face or how to apply moisturizer or what is SPF moisturizer and why you should use it every day, and all these different things that sometimes we often overlook. A lot of men say to me like, "Oh, I don't really use a cleanser, but I'll use moisturizer." And I'll say to them, "Oh, like, do you use SPF?" And they're like, "Oh no, I don't use SPF moisturizer." And I ask them like, "Oh, is there a reason why?" That I just don't use it. And it's I think the education aspect of it, I think, is something that for myself I need to do more of so that people see the importance of like SPF and why we should use it on a daily basis. So yeah, I think the way social media is now, you can very much just search any sort of query you have related to self care, and there are videos that do tend to pop up. Even if you type in a hashtag like men's grooming, a lot of them do come up, and it's really nice. I find them really really useful for like shaving tips. So there are a lot of things about shaving that I've learned over just typing in like, oh, the best ways to shave, or like how to use this blade to shave, and all these different things. Because sometimes we do genuinely just feel like we can't ask someone, and that's quite a hard thing as well. So with the Take Five community, I really encourage people to ask questions, and I always say like no question is a stupid question, because like ultimately we're all here to learn about it, and it's like really nice that we can talk about self care to the point where people feel comfortable to ask any question without feeling judged. So I definitely say like search on the content, because there is so much out there that can help you. YouTube is really good for it as well. Like there are so many different platforms that can really help you with self care. I think adverts, like you said, a lot of them can be predominantly targeted to the female audience, and that's actually why I do target women as well, which is kind of a different approach, which is a whole other thing in itself. But I do target women predominantly because of the fact that women want to support, they want to remind the men in their life to take five. And they also know that, oh, if I do my skincare with my partner, we can take five together. So that is something that I have noticed a lot of. And they then will educate their partners through the cleansing stage, and they'll educate them while to do their own skincare. So that is something I've definitely seen. Sorry, that was a very long-winded answer there.
I think
So
it was
sorry.
perfect. And if you are a man, this is your star pick to the self care. And if you are a woman, then forward this to your man so that he can also
Yes.
get some educational content on the self care. I think it was brilliant where actually people can start with the self care, especially men, because I also feel that it's underestimated for men, and that we should make it more widespread, that it's totally
Yeah.
normal. And I would like to get back a bit into building a brand. So,
Hmm.
how can actually entrepreneurs now, with all of the knowledge that you have, because you started in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, so
Yeah.
like with 4 years of experience of building a brand, starting with this online course, but now you really know it from practice. So, how can entrepreneurs build a brand that not only sells a product but also creates a movement? So that it's not only this kind of like a cold selling, like
Hmm.
hey, do you want my shampoo, and like that's it. But you have a really a story behind it. So like how entrepreneurs can connect it to something more than just cold calling, cold messaging, cold DMs, and
Yeah. No, I love that. I recently read a book. I read it a few months ago actually. It's called Start with Why by Simon Sinek, and that really helped me. So the whole the whole thing is starting with a why for me. From in 2021, it was like there's a why behind this. It isn't just skincare. I don't want to be known as just another skincare brand. There has to be a reason why I'm doing this. And then I read that book, and it really changed. Like, and I read that book in 2024. So 3 years after, I'm still learning to like adapt this why behind what I do. Um, and I find a lot of the time, like I'll go live on social media, and I'm never like buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. very much like join my community. Let's take five together. Like, let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about self care. Let's educate ourselves on the importance of looking after ourselves. Let's talk about any questions you may have about self care. And that for me has been the 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 what's the word? How do you describe it? Like the pivotal point. I want to say.
Yes,
I think that's the right word. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, that's been the best way for me to grow the brand because so many things have happened ultimately because I've led with the reason why I do what I do. Because ultimately I could create content and be like, oh yeah, we're just a skincare brand and we do this at this and this. Oh, and we donate to mental health charities. Whereas like that's the forefront of what I do. So like I'm the face of the brand and it's like we donate to charities. We want to do more than just we want to be more than just a skincare brand. We want to be a reminder for you to take five. So standing for something way more than just a product, I think, is arguably the thing you have to do. I think nowadays, having a strong why behind what you do, rather than just like, oh, when I start a business to make money, or I'm doing it because I think it's a good opportunity. Like I think having a genuine passion behind something is so important because on the days when it gets really tricky and really hard, and you feel like giving up, your community are the people that spur you on. The amount of times I get emails and messages from people that are like, "Thank you so much for everything that you do." Like I had a message from someone. I had a comment on a TikTok I posted a few months ago, and it was like, "You saved my life without even realizing it." And it's things like that that make you think like this is so much more than a skincare brand. And I was like, and this is why I lead with the why behind what I do because it is making that change. So I'd say it's arguably the single most important thing for me is building a community that really resonates with why I do what I do rather than being like, oh yeah, we just do skincare. Because I think like people just no, it's just no. I just don't think it works.
I really love how we are connecting to community, that you actually have conversation, and that you have the patience to, for example, educate people around it. Like as you just, for example, explain how to start with self-care for
Mm,
men, and to have really a conversation about it because you were at that place, you understand the pain points that men might have, and just open up a safe place for them to speak openly.
mm.
I'm just now interested. How did you actually save the life? What was the?
Well, I don't actually know. So I received comments and I don't actually know, but I think it's so basically what I do on my social media is I post on my personal brand. I'm also on my Clear for Men page as well. So I post on the two. And a lot of them are it's very much mental health reminder centric. So it's very much like positive reminders, like really like reminding people that they're not alone. So there's it's a real big push on that. Like that is the content that I push because I just think it's the content that really helps build my community and again drives the message home that people aren't alone in whatever it is that they're facing. And I think that's what it was. Like I think it was very much like I posted a positive reminder and then I received this comment and it just made me think like, oh, this is like, again, like, this is why I do what I do. And I've screenshotted that message and I actually had a message on LinkedIn the other day. It was this morning, and this woman said like you should keep all of these messages in a gallery, and if you ever feel like quitting or giving up, look at these because this is going to be the thing that keeps you going. And I was like, yeah, that is so true. So yeah, it's very fulfilling knowing that I'm able to help so many people as well. And by telling my story and being vulnerable, which is again, it's hard for me to be vulnerable and talk about it, but ultimately, if I talk about it, we're helping hundreds of people know that they're not alone with theirs as well. So it's very, yeah, it's nice to see that.
Yes, I have the same. I never delete anything from the community, any feedback from any client, because even
Yes.
though it's maybe not relevant at this stage, I will never know when I will open that. I'm calling it, I don't know how you call it in English, but it's like when you have a table and you open the drawer and you have like all of the ideas inside it.
Yes. Yeah, got you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I got you.
yeah.
Like like
So
like, like the next chapter.
yeah, exactly. So you never
Yeah,
know when you will pick that idea, and you will
yeah.
just do that idea that the person gave you. Was there maybe something at the beginning of your journey that you maybe asked people about their ideas of what they think that, for example, you are strong at, or some feedback? For example, what I did when I felt like lost about my content, I wrote on Instagram 20 followers that were following me on daily basis, and I asked them, give me the three things that you like about my content, and give me, for example, one question that you would like to go to me to help you with, or something like this. Do you have also something like this when you were starting?
Yeah, well, I always say to people the one of the things that I wish I did more of when I first started was actually speak to my community more. Like, so I speak to them like every day now. Like, so it's like a daily thing for me to talk to them. Um, but I wish I like did more of that at the beginning. So when I first started, I was saying the other day, like it took me 6 months to post a TikTok. So I launched in August 2022, and I didn't post my first TikTok until March because I was so scared of what people would think of me. So I couldn't really build a community, or I couldn't really build connection with people because people couldn't see the face behind the brand. So it took me a long time to get to the courage to where I am now to talk and go live and make content. So now that I'm making the content and I go live on social media, I actually ask people on a daily basis, do you like that content? Is that content a bit rubbish? What do you like about it? Can I improve it? And I'm constantly asking people for their genuine, honest feedback. And I always think like sometimes it's like I'd rather someone say to me, look, it's awful. Do X, Y, Z to make it better, because obviously, if they're being nice about it, like, but it's going to it'll help me to grow. And I've had that a few times. Like, I've had a lot of mentors say to me, like, look, you need to do this. You're focusing on the wrong things. This isn't going to help you grow. You need to do this, this, and this. And those conversations have really helped me. But in terms of like, my actual content, I have spoken to people, and people do really enjoy what I post now. And I'm constantly looking at the next thing to create. Um, so yeah, I do talk to them a lot, but I wish I did. I wish I started it a lot sooner. Like I didn't really start talking to my community properly until maybe the end of 2023. It's quite a long time, really.
Yeah, like around 3 years, I think you were hesitant.
Long time. Yeah, very hesitant. Yeah, I think I was. I think I was just scared of what people were going to think, or like I was in this mindset of like, oh, I've built a brand. I need to have it all figured out now. I can't ask anyone for help. Whereas like now it's just like I will DM my community on a regular basis if they respond to a story. So it's quite nice to have that like personal touch, personal feel to it. Um, so yeah, it's completely different now. I feel in a better headspace with that. Whereas before, I was so frightened to message anyone because I didn't want people to think, "Oh, why is a brand message?" Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like. Whereas now it's so much different, which is quite
Yeah,
nice.
it's like weird. Like, why would I like reach out? Like,
Yeah.
you're rather like waiting. You want that people will approach you, but when you learn how to approach people for your strategy, you feel much more aligned with your vision and why you are doing
Yes.
what you are actually doing.
Yeah.
When you said that you speak daily with your community, what does it mean? How your day of speaking with your community look like? You said that you go live. I don't think that you go live on daily basis, or do you?
Yeah, no, so that's very good. So I go live on TikTok. So I predominantly go live on TikTok every day. Well, I try to as much as I can. So I go live on my personal brand and also on my Clear for Men page, and I differentiate the two live streams. So let's say if I have like a busy day of admin, I'll go live on my personal page and I'll just have a quiet, it's just in the background. People can join me whilst I do my admin day. And then on my Clear for Men page, I might be a bit more like, oh yeah, by the way, we have this cleanser. We donate to Mind and Calm, and people can learn more about the product itself. So I do a variety of live streams, but that's like a way for me to constantly talk and stay in the loop with the community. And also because I'm posting on social as well. So I'm probably posting, I mean, on LinkedIn, I'm probably posting at the moment almost twice a day. On TikTok, I'm probably posting about 3 or 4 times a day on each account. So people are commenting on those videos, and then also on other platforms as well. So I find I get a lot of contact with people through my content, which is quite nice actually. I'll post a variety of things and I'll see what resonates with people. And something like some people in the community won't see any of the content I posted, or someone will see every single thing I've made. Um, but yeah, no, I try to go live on social every day because I do think it's a great way to build it's a great way to keep my community engaged, but it's also a great way to create new audience as well, and for people to see me. And it's also free. Like people can just join me for free. Once you get over that hurdle and that fear of going live, which is very daunting to begin with, and people can just join you, and they can find out about you for free. It's a great way. It's a great way to connect with new people.
Nice. But I think on TikTok you need to have 10K followers in order to go live, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, I think this used to be a thing. They've changed it now.
Oh,
So I go
oh,
live. Yes, they've changed it now. So on a business account, you don't need to have any requirements. So on a business account, you can go live straight away, because you're registered as a business, and like they'll know you're a legit account because you have to put like you have to put your company number in. You have to put like your certificate of incorporation, like everything in there. And then on a personal account, you have to have 1,000 followers. So, oh no, I think it's 800 followers actually. So it's between 800 to 1,000 followers
okay.
on a personal account, but on a business account, I was going live when I had like 300 followers. Yeah,
Nice.
it was
I will
great, and
check.
everyone. Oh, sorry.
No, I wanted to just say I will check it because I thought that I need to have 10,000 followers, but it's almost like you have so many jails that like I was in 200 followers jails, then like 400, and it's like never like putting you like in like the searches and things like this. And I was like,
Yeah,
how can I actually get like 10K followers if like it was just impossible, even though I was like posting every day. So now you
yeah,
told me that I should open the business account. So
yeah. That'll work. Business account will make you go live with any following, and yeah, 1,000 followers on your personal. It's hard to grow. It's hard to grow a following as well on TikTok. I find it can be quite difficult. Um, but I suppose some content performs really well. Like I get content sometimes and I won't get followers for weeks, and then I'll post one video and I get like 60 new followers from one video. So it really does depend. And a lot of my followers and viewers come genuinely through live streams anyway. So the more often you go live, the more people will see you. They'll stay in the live for maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and then probably they'll keep scrolling, and then they'll eventually see a video that you posted. So it's trying to stay in the loop with both the videos and the live streams, which is so hard. It is so hard trying to do both. It's so difficult.
and aren't you scared of this TikTok ban that everybody is speaking about that it might happen? Because this is, for example, discouraging me a bit. That why should I actually like put effort in TikTok when everybody is speaking about how to relocate as a content creator to some another platform? Actually,
So yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I like that actually. So I don't think that ban will happen in the UK. I don't think there's anything about that in the UK. But saying that, I follow a entrepreneur called Gary Vaynerchuk, and he says all the time, like, so many people ask him like, oh well, what happens if this happens? And he's like, well, we'll just move the direction to somewhere else, so you just go into another platform. And it's quite right actually. Like I think there are so many different platforms now to double down on. So like for me, I'll post on LinkedIn on a daily basis, and I'll engage with people on a daily basis. And I double down on that because the opportunities like this would not have happened if I didn't start posting on LinkedIn. So it's like I'm going to double down on this now and make sure I do more of it. And it's just like trying to figure out if it works on there, great, like But if that did happen, I'd probably move over to another platform, just shift. So having like diversifying it a little bit. So sometimes I'll say to people on my live streams, "Oh, don't forget to go and follow me on X platform." Do you know what I mean? So people can see me in different places then. And it's also that idea. I don't know if you've ever read the book. There's a book by Daniel Priestley. It's called Oversubscribed, and it talks about the concept of 7-11-4. So people become advocates for you and your brand once they've seen you for 7 hours of time so 7 hours of time in hang on, I've stumped myself there. It's 7 hours of time. I can't remember what the 11 is, but then in four different locations. So I'll give you an example. So people see me on my TikTok content, on my TikTok live, on my email list, and on Instagram. So four different places they'll see me, but they've seen my content for 7 hours. They now become It's like we're friends. Like they've become they've seen my content enough to know about me, and I need to figure out what that 11 is. I don't know what it is, but I stumped myself. I stumped
yeah.
myself by saying that. But yeah,
But
no, it's
it's also the difference. Like if you spend the specific time with a person, they become a friend, then if you spend
Yes.
this amount of time with them, they become a best friend, and like there
Yes.
is this kind of like a limit. So it's about like the followers, how you can actually navigate that it's also your prospect, your friend, your interaction and things like this. So how you warm
Yeah.
up your followers and your
Yeah.
the people on the other hand, on
I
the other
agree.
side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. What you said before about that you were hesitant about posting for 3 years.
Hmm.
So, what made you to actually start to post? What was the like? Okay, I'm going for it. Right now is the time. Like, what changed
Yeah.
through the 3 years?
So so actually, so LinkedIn is the platform really that I didn't post on at all. I went to an event last year. So I actually won the UK Startup Awards. I won. It's you can't see it, but that little pink certificate by there, that is the UK Startup Awards. I was a finalist for it last year, and it was a big event in Hertfordshire. And one of the women who was there, she was doing a talk, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is actually really, really cool. And I remember thinking, like, this looks really cool, but what's LinkedIn going to do for my business? Like, that's not going to drive any. And I kept thinking that, but I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to listen to what she has to say. And I was immersed in what she had to say. And I was like, this is really, really interesting. So I left and I found her and she was sat on the bench and I was like, I'm going to speak to her now because she has hundreds of thousands of followers, I think, on LinkedIn. And I was like, I'm just going to speak to her. And I just said, like, look, I do this. This is my brand. Like, what do you think I should do? Like, because I'm just like so nervous to post. And she was literally just like, be yourself. And her like mantra is like, post it, just post it. And it got me thinking, like, yeah, I'm in my own head so much about all these things. So I decided then, like, you know what, I'm just going to take it day by day and I'm going to post. And the more and more I post, the more and more comfortable I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. And I'm finally going to be in a position where I can just post and and like point the camera in front of me and not worry about what other people think, which took a lot of courage and a lot of time. So from, like I said, from August 2022 till March 2023, I didn't post at all on TikTok. I posted a few videos, but that was it. Um, LinkedIn, I did not post properly until this year. January 2025 is when I started taking LinkedIn seriously, and I've managed to double my growth. I think I had like 300 followers, and now I've got over 1,000. Because I've started to really take the platform seriously because I can see the opportunities that come my way is unbelievable. So just doubling down on what worked for me was like really, really important. But in terms of like TikTok and other platforms, like posting for me, I read a book and it was called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And I was terrified, like going live, I was terrified. I just felt scared. I was so nervous of like, oh, what are people from school going to think? Or, oh, what are people, like random people, what are they going to think? Like, I'm going to get criticized and people aren't going to like what I do. And all these things were like just telling me, don't do it. And I said, I got to do it. I have to do it because all these people that I admire on this platform and all these people I admire in the business world are doing these things and they're doing so many amazing things and they've got so many opportunities for them. It's because they felt the fear and they just did it anyway. And it just made me think, I need to do more of this. I have to do it. And that is sort of where it just led me to go, do you know what? I need to just do it. And that's when I first went live in September 2023. And it's why I now post consistently because I just felt the fear and did it anyway. And I know that sounds so cliche, but it was very much like, this is the mantra I have to stick to because it works so well for me. And it made me feel, and I'm such a more confident person now because of it.
I didn't smile because it's cliche. I smiled that you really remembered even the month when you first
Oh
time
yeah,
live.
yeah.
I mean, it's a momentum. It's your like life anniversary. Like you
I
should
know.
celebrate it from now on. It's a really really impressive, and I also really like what you said about that you just should start. That the woman told you, and she recommended you just start, just post,
Yeah,
because I believe that sometimes people just wait to show off on social
yeah,
media, and
that's
this
it.
is a bit what is setting them back. I have a friend who just told me recently that, Marie, my life is like not something interesting. I'm building my business and I'm just waiting for the time when I will be successful and I can just show that to people. But
Mm,
like knowing how hard it is to actually get into routine, like posting, interacting, building community, it's like, hey man,
yeah,
just start now
yeah,
because then when you will have something to show people, like you
Yeah.
will have already like cheerleaders behind you, and you will have like like an amazing product, you do a really good job, and people also on social media, it's called social media, people want to
Yes.
actually see your transformative journey. They don't want to see you showing off in Ferrari
Yeah.
in Dubai. They want to see like how you actually progress. This is the thing what they want to see.
And it's so true. And also, like, I find that I will share my losses. Like, I find just being my transparent self and being like, today wasn't a good day. I feel rubbish, or today wasn't a good day because of this reason. I find like showing like my authentic self and just being transparent about it to like not just the community but to everyone. I think like it does show like the reality of what it is to be a business owner. It's like I think people are like, oh yeah, like it must be amazing. And don't get me wrong, the highs are so good. It's not even funny. Like they are better than I could ever imagine. But the lows are also excruciatingly lonely. And I think that's something that's just like not spoken about enough. Like it is lonely being a business owner, and like it's like, okay, what do I do? I don't know what to do. And like you said, you don't want to. I don't want to post on social media and be like, oh yeah, look at this amazing thing that I've got going for me. And I'm like, but I'm struggling. Like I'm just telling a lie. Why would I tell a lie? Why would I lie about what I'm doing or where I am at with my business? I'd rather just be fully transparent because then when I do win, my community can look at me and go, look how far you've come, and that's exactly what I want to do. So I know exactly what you mean, and it's that thing of like people are so much like I don't know what to post because nothing's happened, or I don't, or like your friend was saying, like it's almost like you we automatically feel as though we're scared to talk about maybe the losses or where we're at right now or the stagnation, but actually that's just a part of the process. Like that is just the process of becoming. Because I always say like I'm nowhere near where I want to be, and I openly say that with the community. I'm nowhere near where I want to be right now, and that's fine. But from where I was 2 years ago, miles apart, and it's because of the small steps every day. So that's really helped me on a confidence level, and also just helped to enjoy the journey. Like some days are gonna be bad, some days are gonna be bad. Like that's just it. But again, I think that all ties right back to the very beginning with the why. If you have a strong why behind the business, the bad days that suck, like, and they're awful, your why is what will keep you going. Because when like everything's gone wrong and you're just like, I don't know what to do, the why will be the thing that keeps you going.
Mm.
You take a break, take five, and you come back to it, and it's the why that keeps you from not giving up.
I love it, especially like the loneliness what you mentioned of entrepreneurs. For me, it's like I
Yes,
travel a lot, and I'm solo traveler actually for 10 years already. And my social
amazing.
media were for a long time like traveling with a friend. Like I was always like sharing how I'm traveling, and then it also became my business account. So like more
Yeah,
switching from travels to actually like how I do the business, and like doing it actually with people in my smartphone to share with them. And then it's really funny because I return into my small city in Czech Republic, and like people actually know where I was, what I did, what I had for breakfast, and they want to speak
that's
with me
mad.
about
Yeah,
it. And it's really nice that I don't need to repeat to them like where I traveled. Like they already know everything, and it's making my life like much simpler. And
yeah.
I would say that it's lonely, but not in the sense like anxious lonely. Like I
Mm,
don't really feel that like the entrepreneurship for me, I feel lonely like in the sense that I'm alone, but not like the anxious loneliness that because whenever I want, I actually can go out or do something. But it's
mm,
rather that I prefer to, for example, work on my business, to work on the social media, the priorities, etc. And it's the loneliness in this sense. So that it's like making you the drive to work on your why, on your purpose.
yeah.
Uh, and I would like to elaborate more on the purpose and the why, what you said, because you
Mhm.
chose like a really, really competitive field.
Oh
And
yeah, it is
have
competitive. Yeah.
have you ever questioned your purpose, your why, and how you usually go over it? Like how because like I think that every entrepreneur has this kind of moment, like why I just didn't choose another thing to do.
Mm. that's a very good question because everyone says it to me all the time. It's like it's a very competitive niche, and people say to me it's arguably the toughest. It's probably the toughest niche. It is, it's challenging. But I also find with it, and again, like the reason why I do what I do is what makes me different. So like I feel like I'm the face of my brand. I can tell my story. No one can tell my story the way I tell my story. So that again is like that it's that uniqueness that we all have is like we have a story, tell it basically. Um, it's very tough. I never questioned sort of my niche. And I think because I've always loved the element of self-care and I love my skincare routine, it fitted in perfectly with what I'm trying to do. So in terms of that, no, I never questioned it, but I've always thought, my goodness, I've bitten off more than I can chew because this is hard. Like this is hard. Um, and it's just, but also like I find that when you have people that love what you do and they love your brand and they love your product, they become advocates. So it is hard, it's very, very difficult. But once you find your people, because realistically, and again, this goes back to that book that I read, the oversubscribed book. You don't need to have the market, like you don't need to have the entire market. I realize you just need to have your market. So you only need a few hundred people who love what you do to make a sustainable business, really, in my opinion. I think if you look at it from, oh, I need to have a massive, like, this is one of the biggest growing industries, in the world, how am I going to get my piece? It's like let's just focus on getting a few hundred people to be a part of my market and love what I do and be a part of my community. That's how I've sort of reframed it, so it becomes less stressful.
Mm,
I don't think of it as this massive mountain that I've got to climb. I look at it like, how do I day by day get more and more people to join my community? And I do it from the hundreds rather than the tens of millions of people that there are in this industry. Um, it's tough. There's no denying it. But I think I've never questioned it. I do sometimes have major imposter syndrome. Like imposter syndrome is like I talk about this all the time with my community. I think to the point where they constantly say to me like, you should not have imposter syndrome, and I'm like, I know, but it's so hard to get rid of it. I think based off the fact that I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Um, but again, I've come this far, so I must know in the least arrogant way. I must know something. I just tell myself that I don't know as
mm.
much as I should. So
And how do you usually deal with imposter syndrome? Like, how do you usually overcome it? Do you have some kind of process when you know that it's coming, or that it's you are getting in that mood of like self doubt or these kind of things? How do you then get out from the from the imposter syndrome? Like, to give some advice to the audience who might feel the same, maybe.
yeah, yeah, I love that. I think for me, one of the most important things I've ever done is speak about it. So like talk to someone, talk to a mentor. Like there's people online who will happily help you for free. So I use a platform and I have a well-being mentor and we just chat and I just chat for 40 minutes or so and I just tell him everything. I just basically say, look, I feel like this. I don't know why. And we talk about it and we just break it down bit by bit. And after the session, I just feel 10 times better because I've got it off my chest. Whereas otherwise I'm carrying that feeling around with me all day. So I find that talking about it is arguably the best thing that I've ever done for it. I'll talk to my community and it's actually really nice now because I'm so invested in my community. They literally know, they can literally see in my face when I'm live or when I make videos, they can see if I'm not 100% okay. So they say to me like, I think he needs a bit more support today, or I think he needs a bit more reassurance. And they'll reassure me of the things that I've done to help them, and it's like, okay, yeah, maybe I need to like stop being so harsh on myself, which I think is again another thing. Like we should stop being so hard on ourselves. We're building something which is so hard, and I think imposter syndrome creeps up on us all. But I think, and a lot of people say to me, the reason why you've got imposter syndrome is because it's new. Like you've never done it before, so like, how are you meant to? You're not gonna just fall into this new business and be like, oh yeah, you're gonna know how to do trademarks and you're gonna know how to to do targeted advertising. Like you're not gonna know how to do that straight away. And it's just like it's realizing that and going, okay, take a step back. Let's just do it bit by bit but I think talking to someone is so important about it. Like just being transparent, like talking to your community, like getting in front of the phone and just being like, look, I don't really feel the greatest right now. Does anyone have any tips? Because I see that a lot on social as well. Like a lot of people will post a video and they'll say like, oh, has anyone got any tips on how to overcome imposter syndrome, or have they got any tips on how to help me with this particular thing in the business? And people are flooded with comments of people who genuinely just want to help you. So like I think you've got like so many people out there that are willing to help you, and I think a mentor is like really really important just to unload how you feel. I think it's really important to get it off your chest because like I said, I do sometimes feel lonely on my business journey, and I don't want to be. So having someone to talk to because it's really really helpful, and having a really nice network around you is really helpful as well. So imposter syndrome can be really hard to overcome, but I would definitely say just talk to people about it and be honest. Like it's nothing embarrassing about where you are on your journey. Like I used to genuinely feel embarrassed about talking about my business journey because I used to think like, oh, people are gonna laugh at me because I'm nowhere near where I should be. But like I can't progress any further if I don't just be honest about it. And so many people are just like willing to genuinely offer their time to you. And I just think never feel ashamed to talk about it because it really is. It's such an important thing that we do, and it's how we grow. Just being like, what, I'm having a bit of difficulty with this right now. How do I go about this? Do you know of anything that I can do, or do you know someone who may be able to help me? So many people out there that want to help people because everyone just want to see people win. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, it's really deep what you are telling us here in the podcast.
Yeah,
Especially yesterday, I was hosting a masterclass, and I realized that actually expression is the opposite of depression, and it might be even the treatment for many other things that a lot of people they feel like that they want to share something, that they want to express themselves, but they have this kind of fear that people will laugh about them, that they will
yeah,
be awkward, that it will not be right. And it's just evolution. Like the more you will put yourself in awkward situation, the more it will feel normal, it will feel comfortable. And I think that a lot of people is that where they stop their evolution, that there is the fear of showing up, that
hmm
they will that the people will see them what they are actually doing, even though they do it in their normal life. And
yeah.
it's totally normal to actually feel this way. And when you just jump into it, and you just start to show up, and you start to talk with people, you will actually realize that a lot of people have maybe similar feelings like you, that a lot of people have the similar problems, that you might actually create the community around.
hmm
You talk a lot about the community. I When somebody ask, for example, hey, I want to join a Louis community, where should I go? Should I go to TikTok? Should I go to LinkedIn? Do you have some like dedicated platform to it? Where do you send people?
So that's a very very good question. So I ask my community this all the time, and I'm still trying to weigh up the best way to do this. So it's on a variety of platforms. So predominantly on TikTok, I'd say on my live streams is where a lot of my community hang out, and a lot of people they talk to me. So I have people that I find through my personal brand who come through to Clear for Men, and they both sit in that Take Five community realm. Same on LinkedIn, I find so many people on there they really love what I do. Like I get voice notes from so many people, and they're like, "I love what you do. Like this is incredible. Like keep going." And I always think of them as being a part of the community as well. I think in terms of like where it actually lies, I think it at the moment it is in a variety of platforms, and I want to be in a position where I can start doing things in person. So I want to hopefully be in a position where I'm like, okay, in even if it's every quarter, I do an event in London where I tell my story. I invite a few brands to join me. We tell our stories, and we can bring the community together, so people can actually meet people in person. Because that would be nice as well. Because there are so many people when I go live and I'm in the middle of talking to someone else, are having other conversations. People are having conversations, sorry, with other people that are in the live. So it's like people have built friendships. Like it's not just being a part of this community with Louis. It's like, oh, I've actually made this friend with this person, and they can actually meet people in person. And that's like really what I want to try and do. So it's a variety of platforms at the moment, and I do hopefully in the future want to be able to do more in-person events, and hopefully be able to do like a broadcast channel. That's where I want to try and do. I want to try and do a broadcast channel. But at the moment, on a platform like Instagram, you need about 10,000 followers to create a broadcast channel. That's my goal. That's my goal, to have everyone there. So that when people follow me, they automatically get a notification to say, "Oh, would you like to join the broadcast channel?" I have thought about doing a WhatsApp chat. The only issue is with GDPR. Like, I think people will see other people's mobile numbers, and I don't feel comfortable with sharing that. Um, and I don't want to put people through that. People have also said about Discord and other platforms like that, but at the moment it's predominantly through a variety of social medias until we are in a position where it's like, okay, Take Five Community is sitting here on Instagram, on the broadcast channel, and then we also go live and everyone can see me there as well. So that'll be like my main focus there, I think, when we get to a position where I can start talking to people
I
on a
think that
daily basis.
we are in a similar position because currently I have the same, that I have people here and there, and I want to create my own space. And on WhatsApp, actually, I'm creating my community on WhatsApp. I was like
Oh,
thinking
you?
about it a lot,
Yeah.
so about like school and Mighty Network and all of these things. I also have Kajabi for courses. You can also have community there. And on WhatsApp, you cannot actually see the mobile numbers until you don't have the people in contact. You can actually create your broadcast channel on WhatsApp, as well as your own community. So
Oh,
it's just a really good hint. You can take a look at it. I also follow
okay.
that
Yeah.
people will, like, people can see your phone number. Because like you are the main point of
Me.
contact for the WhatsApp,
Yeah.
but you cannot see like each other's numbers until they don't have themselves in the contact. So, and for
Oh, I see.
um, and for me, like, the community is where I am the most. And for me, I really have WhatsApp like for everything. Like I'm
Mm,
the most reactive on it. Like on Instagram, my Instagram is growing. There are lots of notifications, and I would also like to do the broadcast there, but also I don't have the 10K, first of all.
yeah.
And second of all, I don't know how it will work with because when you have the 10K, you have a lots of notifications running. People are actually commenting, and I prefer to set up for these apps, the social apps, the times when I'm actually hanging out around, so that it doesn't
Mm,
disturb my focus from the work. So
mm,
I don't know how this would actually work. Like if I would be like motivated, because like on WhatsApp I am all the time, like also for my business. So like I can just like speak with people while I'm working, etc. So this is something I'm currently considering, and I chose WhatsApp actually among all
yeah.
of the platforms.
I'll have to message you then, because that I'll have to message you about how to do that then, because that sounds like a really good idea. Because I think what I might try and do, I might try and create, like, if I do it on WhatsApp and I do like a clear, like, because you can get a WhatsApp business, can't you? You can get a WhatsApp business.
Yes, you
Um,
can also,
uh,
but I don't know what is the difference, to be honest. I asked one girl. She has her business, and she was using WhatsApp for business. And I asked her, "Hey, I was actually thinking about it. What is the difference?" And she told me, "I actually don't know."
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think the difference is, I might be wrong. I might be wrong, but I think the difference is a different mobile number. So they
Mm,
won't have your personal number, which I think might be better for GDPR regulations, rules and stuff. People can have just a clear for men number instead. Um, maybe I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know.
maybe
Maybe I
it's
think
something to investigate. But
yeah.
definitely, you can also join my community if you are listening to us. We put the link in the description, so definitely check it out. And also, we will invite you, Louis, so you can
Thank
join
you.
too.
Thank you
We are
so much.
inviting all of the guests from the podcast so that they can also interact with our community for question and answers. It's a growing community. I actually just made it recently, so so this is a really fresh thing, which is great
Yeah,
to
I love
announce actually here at the podcast.
that.
So thank you for that. I have a last question, and it's what are the key lessons you wish you knew before starting? So, when we are like with all of the knowledges that you have right now, and you would be starting your new brand right now, what are the key lessons you wish you knew before the start?
um, I wish I knew. Well, that's a really good question. That's a really good. I think because if I give you a bit of context, when I started, I was quite naive. So I started when I was 19. No, I was 20 when I started working on Clear for Men. So I was quite naive. So I immersed myself in everything. Like, I learned pretty quickly how to do trademarks. I learned how to do branding. like how to stand for more than just being a product, all these different things. I think the thing that I wish I learned more of starting again, if I was to start from scratch, it would be probably, oh, that's a really tough one. That's so hard. It's either more about community building and trying to figure out how to build community in one place, or about, oh, I don't know. That's so hard. That's a really good question. I don't. I think my Achilles heel right now, or my weakness, I think sometimes is maybe I get really scared about doing ads. So ads is a really big thing of mine. I get quite scared of, and perhaps it's because I genuinely don't think I know enough about it. So I think I'm like I don't really want to invest into ads because I'm scared that I'm not going to see a return. But in order to learn from the ads and make more, make money from the ads, I need to invest money in it and see what creatives work and replace the creatives with different creatives and just try again. So if I was to start again, I would say have a bit more of the feel the fear and do it anyway mantra when I started.
Mm.
Feel like be more like open and willing to fail quick so that I can get to the next thing. Because I saw a post the other day and it said, if you knew that you were 29 failures away from success, how quick would you want to fail? And it makes you think like, oh yeah, like we really are just like we're just throwing darts at a board until one day one of them's going to hit the bullseye. And for me, I'm scared to throw that dart, which is the ads. I'm scared to throw the dart of ads because I'm worried about the return. um, and also influencer marketing as well. Like I don't really work with many influencers, and the reason behind that is because I want to build a community that essentially are my influencers. I
Mm.
don't want to. I want to build like people who love my brands and love my ethos. I want to like, give them PR packages. I want to support them. I want to because they support me. So I would say learning more about ads and learning to fail fast, and just try something and fail fast. That sounds bizarre. That sounds bizarre, but I'm so stuck on that question. That's such a hard question to think of an answer for. But I think they're the two things I would look at.
I really like it, especially fail fast. We had another podcast, and it was about that you should celebrate your failures. Actually, that you should not celebrate
Yes.
only your successes. And then, like, I was thinking, I think for the whole week, like, what can I celebrate today? Because
Yeah. Of
there are so many failures on the
course.
entrepreneurship journey that to learn how you can also recover from the failure, because like I think
Yeah.
that people also overthink the failures, and this is sometimes why they never come back to that idea, just because something small just didn't went perfectly. There is also this perfectionism that like we want everything to be like really perfect. But
Mm,
I mean, just try it. You don't need to like spend 100,000 euros or
mm,
pounds for that idea. You can just spend the proportion, try it, test it. Like you
yeah.
don't need to go all in, and like with all of it just fail maybe like one third. You don't need
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fail with all.
No, because I find so this is what I find. I find that when I first started going live, I had no one in the room. Like I had zero people, and like for a long time. And it was it's gut wrenching, like because you are just like, what is the point of this? Like I'm not doing anything, and no one's seeing me. What is the point of this? And I just kept going and kept going and kept going. Change the approach, change the layout. Like a lot of the live streams I do now, I'm sat at my desk, or I'll be stood there and I'm packing orders. And I find that like you testing different things that work, and all of a sudden those people that saw you once on a video, they may comment and say hello, and it's just the consistency. It is just the consistency. Just like not worrying about this thing of like, oh yeah, but what if they think I'm silly for doing this? Like you have to try it
Mm,
because so many people say to me about TikTok Shop, and they say, look, it takes time, but ultimately people's businesses can change overnight because of platforms like TikTok. Um, you have to fail, and like you said, you have to embrace the failure and fall in love with it. Like genuinely fall in love with it. That's what I've had to do, and it sucks sometimes because you're like, why am I loving the failure for? Like this is awful. but like it works, because you then enjoy the process. You enjoy it. You enjoy where you are, and you take your time rather than rushing all the time.
Love it. We just renamed this podcast episode on how to fall in love with your failures.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to ask the final question, and it's like, do you have something you want to share with our audience that I maybe didn't ask the right question, or I maybe overheard, overlooked, something that you would like to share with our audience? Anything? The last message?
Ooh, have you got an example? Sorry, I've got an example. I'm not sure. I don't
Some like
know.
a motivational or inspirational message for our audience to like go live tomorrow.
Go
Try.
live. Do it. Yeah, I think if I was to look back at my 20-year-old self, I don't think they wouldn't recognize the person I am today. And that is the result of very small steps. So like when I was younger, I used to say to myself, why am I not there yet? Why am I not there yet? And it used to drive me insane. Like I would become so burnt out because I am constantly comparing myself, constantly looking at other businesses, constantly comparing myself to someone else, and just criticizing my content. Oh, this is rubbish. This is rubbish. I can't go out. The content that performs the best for me is the content that I get my camera and I just start filming like this. The content where I edit and I take hours to filming, that tends to not do as well. So I find to start, trial different things. You never know what could work. Um, and like I said, and I'm very humble about it. Like I am nowhere near where I want to be right now. Nowhere. And I have imposter syndrome every day. It's normal, and you just gotta post and try it, and yeah, be proud of yourself. Like be proud of yourself and enjoy it. I think if you enjoy it, you've won. I think you genuinely have won if you enjoy it.
I love it. Especially what you said that you just need your phone to record yourself. You don't need some fancy setup. I was just
Yeah,
actually posting before I joined you here on this podcast about like everybody like it's like, yeah, I want to have a profit podcast and stuff like this, but you can also have just podcast like this, like with a
that's
microphone,
perfect.
with a
Yeah,
beautiful
I love
sunset.
that view. Yeah, I was gonna say.
You doesn't need anything else. You don't need even the microphone. I mean, you just
Yeah,
need your computer and the table and probably some Wi-Fi and internet. But you don't need a lot at the end, like to become a
no,
content creator. So just start even today, not even tomorrow. Like don't leave it for tomorrow.
right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to the end of this podcast of Your Brand, Your Business. Thank you, Louis, for sharing your insights with us. It was really exceptional with a lot of insights about the imposter syndrome, how to start your brand, how to start your business. And also, thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's podcast, then be sure to subscribe and leave a review. I'm Marie, and I will catch you next time. Thank you. Bye.